Okay, so let's get going. So today's thing, I will just again restart with the GitHub introduction. And of course, I'm not going to go through every detail, but I will tell you most important steps. And then we will invite one of your classmates. I think Janmay is keen, and we will ask him to come over. And we will have 2 exercises done today as demo. And that should then clarify for most of you what we are up to. Okay, so before we call Janmay, I would have the brief intro. Okay. Yes. So brief intro of GitHub. So what are we going to do in that? So we have the steps as follows. The first thing we are going to do is getting your account on github.com. Of course, as I told you, we don't need it compulsorily to use Git concept, but it's a good idea, and I encourage you to use github.com. So you should get your account created on github.com first, and then you should also configure 2-factor authentication on it, and which also means that maybe you can install Microsoft Authenticator app on your mobile. So that will help you. I mean, it's a good thing actually to have. And then every time you open the app, there is a 6-digit number that comes, which you enter in the site. Then you log in. So basically, that you basically check so that practice to log into the github.com using 2-factor authentication as a habit. Okay, so because after 11th of August, we cannot log in there directly with the password alone. Okay, so that's something that you need to do. That's the first thing. Okay, so I would say here I would call this as Git. I would say maybe intro to GitHub. That's the first steps. The second set of steps are basically are about repositories. Okay, so we will first have that creating your own repository as a first activity. That's important. So for that, what we do is, of course, create a private repository. Okay, and then get yourself a personal access token to use with this, and then clone it on your computer, and then configure the folder using git init. Okay, and then of course I will have this on the front, and then we will go through the steps as we do. So I'm just telling you. So we create a private repository. We have access token obtained and kept it safe so that we can use it while logging in, etc. We clone the repo. So when I'm saying clone, I would say clone it. Clone it means what? Clone the repo on your computer. Configure the folder for Git using Git init. Okay, and I would say tell Git about yourself. So I would say that you would tell by telling git config basically, and then configure the remote. So you would write git remote add blah blah blah. Okay, and then you would change some files if you wish, and then you would have that to be committed. So you need to say stage them to be ready to send to remote using git add, and then of course commit the changes using git commit, and then push the changes using git push. So this is the sequence of steps by which we can create a own repository, make some changes, and actually see those changes on the server. Now, after that, of course, there are some more steps. Then the next step is working with branches. Okay, so working with branches, and that for that we again have the steps. Okay, so create a new branch for a repo you are already working. Okay, then I would say check out the branch, okay, and all changes are now to the branch. Okay, and at some time when you are done with that branch, you can say merge the branch with the master or main. Okay, so that process is something that I can illustrate here using a sketch. Okay, I'm done with this. So okay, so we can say that you have got main, and then some changes are done, and normally you would proceed in that manner, but you can actually have a branch and then have those changes made and then work, and then you can come back and merge. So this process is merge process, this process is branch process, and in between, of course, others may also do some branching and merging. We will talk about that, how to resolve if there is any conflict, but this is an activity that we do. So you can think of you can think of this as like, you know, the main or master branch, and then you have got some any username, and then you can work and then branch merge it, and again you can repeat that activity by doing it again and again. So the concept of a branch is something that we will try right away. Okay, we will work on that. So once we have learned how to do that, working with branches, then I would say in terms of knowledge, we are ready to say working. I would say not working. I would say contributing to others repositories. Okay, so there, of course, we are going to contribute by these steps where we can say fork their repository. Okay, create your branch, make some changes to your branch, and push those to the server, and then on the remote server, compare and create a pull request. Okay. So this is something that we do. And of course, this is one activity. Of course, then other activity would be basically allowing contributors to chip in. Okay, and that is where basically we say, okay, look at pull requests and approve them. And sometimes you have to do resolve any conflicts in some files. Okay, so these are the various. Now I would say with this, by and large, we are done. Okay, so if you can work on these steps, all of these steps, if you know how to do, you are ready to go. Okay, so let me just save this fellow. Of course, I'll share this thing across, so we will practice. Okay, so just before we have the volunteer, I just want to tell you, saying these are all steps that you may take a few days to finish. That's not a problem. And of course, our video is recorded, so you can always go back and see what was that guy doing when we said he's going to do so and so activity. You can always look it up, and of course, there is a set of tutorials in github.com itself where you can look up. And YouTube has plenty of resources, so there is enough help. But of course, we are our own class also is a help for you readily. But these are the steps I want you to know, because this is sufficient for the for a long time for you to use github.com. Okay, so let us go ahead and start doing it. I have this in front of me, and I will actually go through these steps as we go along. So let us have uh, uh, one of the volunteers. I think Janamaje wanted to help with his time on this, so we may have him present his screen, and then we will go ahead and see how it works. So the person who hasn't done much only is good, because we want to see how it works. Okay, so you can share the screen, Janamaji. Yes. Okay, so for this session, don't worry so much about passwords and all that. I mean, we don't have to worry. Okay, so go ahead and open it. Open GitHub, github.com. Okay, so log off, because I want it to start from scratch. All right, so okay, now you can log in. So normally, once you present that login screen, so you have put some ID, email ID is possible, and also username. One of the two is sufficient, and you can give a password. So it appears that you have not configured the two-factor authentication. That is good, because now we can show others how to do that. Okay, so go to the top right corner and press that icon. Top right corner, you have got this icon. Yeah. So come down and settings. Okay, on the left, yeah, that's fine. Settings, and the left hand side, account security is there. One of the items, I think the fourth one, account security. Yeah. Now there is a green button which says enable two-factor authentication. Click on it, enable it. Okay. You can hide this Google Meet thing. Stop sharing, hide that. Click on that hide thing. There's a pop-up, meet.google.com is sharing your screen. That pop-up, hide it. Yeah, good. Now you have two ways of doing it. So if you have your phone ready, you can do it, or you can configure with SMS. That's fine. Just do one of them, no problem. Okay, so continue. And you have to give your phone number, and country code is first. Don't miss that out. Go and first change the country code to India. Okay, after that you give the phone number. Yes. Okay, now it is asking you to, first of all, confirm the phone number, whether you have it or not. So ask it to send the authentication code. Okay, and it would have sent something in the SMS, so you can type that in. Don't worry, it's all one-time use, so if others look at it, doesn't matter. Of course, if they click before you click, that's the only problem. But I don't think somebody is following you so closely behind your heels. Okay, so enter that thing and confirm. Okay, SMS might have come already, or so this is one of the reasons why I chose to use the app, because the app there's no delay. Okay, yeah, continue and see. You might have not given it properly, maybe. Good. Now these codes are something you should save. So just download, just click on the download button. So this is basically, sometimes if you happen to lose your phone and therefore you are unable to get in, then these codes will help you for recovering. So it's a good idea to keep them. That's fine. Okay, now having saved it, okay, you can say I have saved my recovery codes. Click on that button, and that means that basically your two-factor authentication has been activated, done. Okay, so there's some celebration, things on the background. That's a happy sign. So you can click on done, and then your yeah, now your two-factor authentication is set up. Okay, so you can log out and try to log in now. See what happens. Okay, so if you log in, of course you give the same password. Only thing is that when you click on sign in, it won't go in. It will actually pop in one more. It will ask one more. Okay, and this code is what you are supposed to enter, seeing your phone. Okay, so they just sent an SMS. You enter the SMS code, OTP basically, and then once it verifies, you will be allowed to get in. So sometimes SMS delivery may take some time for things to work out. So it's a good idea to use the Microsoft Authenticator app. Okay, that's a suggestion only. But okay, you are in now. So this is the first step we have done. Okay, so the intro to GitHub we have done. Now the next step is to create your own repository. So we will do that. Okay, so what we do is click on that new button. Yes. Okay, and so you can then give any name. So you may give a name. Again, there are same name, multiple repos. Don't do that. Okay. So don't do that. You can just, give something else. Let us say 13th July or something. Okay. 13th July. Okay. No. Don't give any gaps. It may accept, but it's a pain for us to later on do some URL, etc. So you just give it such a way that there's no special character at all. 13th July. That's fine. Okay, description, you write some description, right, because I want you to do it properly. So you can say a demo repo for us to practice. Okay, and the very first repo, of course, it's don't have to make it public. It's you can make it private also. You should learn to make it private, obviously, because you need to also tell. Okay, so this is fine. Private is fine. Add a README file. Okay, and license also you can choose some. Click on that button and then it will show you some licenses that are there. So you can click a license. You can choose something like GNU Public License version 3.0. That is the license which is for Linux, and therefore it's a good idea to do it. Okay, create the repository. Okay, now this repo is ready, and now you need to clone it. Now there is a difference from yesterday and today. Yesterday, our colleague has created a public repo, so to clone it, you didn't require to authenticate. But for you, you need to authenticate even to clone it to your own computer, and therefore you need a personal access token. So go ahead and pick it up first. Okay, so click on that, yeah, and come down to settings, and on the left-hand side, developer settings and personal access token. Yes. Okay, and you can give the token name same as the repo, so 13th July. So you understand that it's meant for that particular app. Okay, and click on that. Yeah, copy it and save it to a file called pat.txt. So that when you are initially learning how to use it, it's a good idea to have that stored. So open a text file and save that. Okay, click on that button, it will copy, and in a text file you can save it. Okay, you have saved it. Yeah, pat.txt, for example. Okay, don't say touch, because touch is only going to create an empty file. So you have to say vi, so that you can actually enter it, or nano, let us say. Okay, vi, that's fine. Press I. After that you can paste it. Okay, and then save it. And you can actually add one more line above to tell what is it for, basically. So that press capital O, it will go to the line above, create a new line above, press escape capital O, will press. Oh, you edited it. Oh, no. Delete the whole line and paste the code again. Okay, because you don't know what change you have done. So, okay, yeah. Now press escape and press capital O. Now you can write 13th July, because that's something that is a reminder for you for which repo you have kept this, and of course you should also not forget to remove it later on. Okay, so this is done. Okay, save it. Now what you do is earlier in yesterday's class, I have cloned and then it came to a directory. So therefore there was no issue. So in this case, we need to also, do that. And when you're trying to do git clone, it should crib and it should ask you authentication. So let us go ahead and do that. So git clone, and then you need clone clone. Okay, and space and give the URL. Okay, and the URL would be the URL of that particular, not the tokens. Go to the repo. So click on the top right. Yeah. So that one is the ID followed by .git. Okay. So paste it. .git. No, without space. .git. Yeah. Now, if you try to clone, it would ask username and password, which was not the case yesterday because that was public. Now, of course, it is a private. Okay. Now, wait. Now you need the password to be pasted. So which means that, I mean, you don't have it readily with you, right? So put a Control C, cancel the process. Put a Control C, or just press enter. It will crib. That is not authenticated. That's not a problem. Just press enter. Okay. Now cat pat.text so that it is there on the screen for you to copy paste. Okay. I'm just giving you some tips so that you can do it right again. Now you can. Okay. Yeah. And you now give the username password. Now for the password, you don't give the password of your account. You give this code. Okay. Yes. For you to copy paste. Enter. Omega constant 13 th dot git. You have to find why you have not found it. So you need to just go and
Omega is capital in this username, I guess.
oh yeah, you forgot to put the first letter capital, or it was supposed to be so I don't know which was your original name, so you have to give whatever is yeah. So I mean, if the URL has capital O, it means that your username has capital O. Okay, so check that out once. Go to the site and check what was your spelling, what was your username, and what was your. So username has a capital O, of course. Okay, and wait. What you do? Wait. On the right hand side in the site, there's a download. There's a button. A green button is there. Not that corner. Beside add file, there is a green button. Code. It says code. No. Just come down. Yeah. So there you click on that to drop down, and it has a URL that you copy. Yes. Okay, that may help you because it may have something that you would have missed out. So check that out now. Again, don't clear the screen. You have lost the password now again. So you have to put cat. Okay. Yeah. Fine. Now you can try to do git clone and see what happens. Just if you double click on that string, it will get copied usually if it is a Linux machine, and you can use the middle button to paste typically, so that you don't need to spend too much time to do that. Okay, no problem. So I am surprised what was the problem. I will see what you can do, but I don't want you to again spend too much time. So go back and make it public so that at least you can get started. Okay, because I know what was going wrong for you. So go to that repos, click on your ID, make it public. Click on it. Yeah, settings. You can do it settings also, or you can do it in clicking on your username also. Manage access. Manage access. Yes. Calm down. Yeah, that the there is a manage icon. There's a link called manage. So there you can make it public. Yeah. So that at least you can get started now. Yeah. So that was some way of confirming. Yeah. All right. Now go back and then try the same thing now. And of course, it will clone without authentication. So that at least you get started. All right. So it has come. So you can now go to the directory. Yes. And now put ls and check that there will be two files. So there is one for ls minus l. Okay, there's a license file and a readme file. Okay, both of them are there. The license file is same as the license for the GNU, which you don't have to worry. Readme is what you have kept, and you can just put cat readme.md to check what has been entered. Normally, it will contain the name of the repo itself as a seed. Okay, so what you do now, you need to initialize this. So you can first say git init, git space init. Okay, and therefore you have got that initialized. So we know what is there in the content of .git, so we don't need to worry now. And then you need to config also, git config. Okay, and you have to tell some names. So you can say git config -- global and user.name. And then in give a space and then give in quotations your username. Okay, same way you also configure the email. Email, user.email. Yeah. Okay. Now you have got it configured. So we now need to tell what is the remote location it should be basically talking to. So we have to do that. Git remote add, and then you have to give a nickname. So you can say master maybe. Okay, and then give the URL. So the URL is same as the .git. That URL is there. Okay, so HTTPS up to Git, that part. Yeah. Okay, so now that Git has been told, what you can do is you can now start doing some changes. So go ahead and edit the readme.file so that you have some changes being done on that. Okay, so add a line below, which will tell you that you have done something from here. Okay, you can say, okay, add something, write something. I'm editing this from my PC, something like that. Because you are doing it only from your terminal, you are not doing it on the site. So which means that you have done the changes from your computer. Okay, yeah. Now save it and come out. Now, because you have already done git init once, it actually knows the initial status, and it has now also seen that the file has changed. So it will understand that there was something that changed. So there's nothing wrong in running this git status command again and again. You know, how many times you run doesn't matter. So you can just run it every now and then just to check what is going on. So git status. So it understands that you just want to know what is happening. So it will tell you whatever is happening. So you can see that right now you got a file that has been modified and it has to be going back to the server. So you need to do that. So what you do is first you have to stage it for this pushing. So you say git add. Okay, git add, and then capital R. Don't put dot. Don't, because make it a habit to specifically add those files. So capital R and put a tab, it will fill it. Yeah, enter. Now git status again to check have you added enough. See why I'm telling you to say git add and then file name is because so sometimes when you are working on lot of files, it's not as if you want to push everything immediately to the server. You want to push only some of them and remaining you want to push later. So if you say git add dot, it will push everything to the server, which you may not want to. So that's why I was just telling you not to do that. Make it a habit to add files specifically. Now you have only staged it for pushing, but you have not told what is this going to be commented with. So git commit minus m, git commit minus m, and then you should give a remark as to what you are doing with that particular pushing. So you can say git commit minus m. Okay, git commit minus m, and then in quotes you give some comment saying that okay, minor edit, something like that. Maybe Janamiji is unable to hear me, perhaps. Network problem. Okay, you have done that. Good. Okay, now, yeah. So I could not see some of the activity because I typed something in the text and it did not come either. So I think there was a network issue. Doesn't matter. Okay, so you can now go back to the. Now you can just type git status again to see what has happened. It will tell you what has happened. Okay, git status. Okay, so you see that okay, you are done, and some changes have been pushed and nothing to commit. Working tree is clean. That means that there's nothing pending that has to be sent out and all that. Okay, so go ahead and then now see on the server what has changed. Okay, what is there on the server? So github.com website, if you go and look at the page, you refresh the page and see what happens. So what happened? Because you have not yet sent it, is it? Push, we have not done push yet, right? You go back to the terminal, you have not done push yet. Yeah, please do that push. After git commit minus m, you have to do push, git push. Okay, now when you do git push, it will ask for username and password, so be ready to pick it up. Okay, so if you want to, if you want to copy paste it from somewhere, have it ready. So you have got a problem with your authentication. Your personal access token is actually not working, basically. Right? So what you do is you just dump it and pick a new one.
So even I'm facing the same error like what Janmajaya faced.
Yes, yes. So your PAT is not working. Whatever PAT you have had it, dump it and get a new one.
Okay.
Okay, delete it and yeah, create a new one. Copy that. Okay, and maybe save it to some place. No, 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 just overwrite it because don't keep the old ones. Just dump it. The old one, just dump it. Just type no WQ, just Q. Okay, just go to vi pat.text and delete whatever was there. Okay, yeah, that's a new file, no problem. No, no, paste it here. No, have it accessible to you. Okay, and press O, escape and press O. Okay, yeah. So you know what was it for basically. Okay, some way by which you identify. Went back in the data, 13 was. It's okay. Fine. So you come out and then have that saved, and so that you just simply copy paste it. Okay. So you can try to push it again now. So it has authenticated and it has pushed. So it was a problem of somewhere some copy paste, some edit, something happened. Okay, so you have now successfully pushed it. So the data has gone to the server. Now you put status, git status. So it will tell that earlier it was saying that you are one step ahead of the master. Now it will not tell that. So it will tell that you have done. Of course, you have done a mistake of creating those two files here. So I normally keep it in some other location. So please do one thing: git rm. Okay, pat dot. Wait. Don't do that. Move the files to one directory above. mv pat.text dot. Okay, and do that with the other file also, so that you don't lose the files unnecessarily. And now again type git status. Okay, so there's nothing here, nothing to work, so nothing to worry now. That's fine. Okay, now you can go back to the server and see what has happened. Go to the browser. Okay, and open your repo. Don't do back buttons generally. Make it a habit to go and click on your icon on the top right, and okay, and go to repository. That's a good habit. Okay, don't use back buttons generally as far as possible, because it does havoc with some forms. Okay, you can see that the line that you have added has come, right? So now it is done. Okay, so which means that you can edit the files and it can come to the server. Okay, now this is fine. This is not a big progress, but it's reasonable. Now the next step is to actually do some branching and merging. Okay, so we will do that. Go to the terminal. Okay, so what you do is type git branch and see where you are, what branch you are in. Okay, so you are in the main branch. Okay, now what you do is you can say git branch and then give a space. Okay, and then you give a name for the branch. You can say, okay, you can say some name. Okay, okay, just type sub panda or something like that. Some other name, so that it's something very distinctly, something that you have created now. Okay, so enter, and now git checkout. Okay, and you can see what you can make out what are what branches are available for you. Okay, enter and then see what happens. Okay, so you can now, it is, you are actually linked with the main branch now, so you can actually check out the other branch. So you can say git check out and then put the branch name now, Panda. Okay, now put again. Okay, git status. Okay, so it now knows that you are on the branch Panda. Okay, you are not on the main, you are on the Panda branch. Okay, now what you do is that you go ahead and edit that file again. Add one more line. Okay, vi readme.md. Okay, now you write one line below, you write saying this line is from the branch Panda. Okay, so distinctly we understand that we have done some change from a different branch. Okay, just a silly way of keeping track. Okay, so come out of it. Now you need to push it. So push this branch. Okay, so we need to so you can see what would happen if you want to do that. Okay, so of course you have to do all those git add and then okay git commit -m, all of that you have to do. So there is a talk I need to attend at 6 o'clock and I need to join a bit ahead, 5 minutes ahead. So I will close shortly and I will continue in the next session. So don't worry because there's a demonstration of a software that is being happening. So we will stop in a moment, okay, in a few minutes, and we'll continue from where we left. Okay, and I request Janmeji also to sort of help me by being volunteer till we finish this. Okay, so yeah, do go ahead and push it and see what happens. Okay, so it is pushing to what, there is no upstream branch called Panda, right? So therefore you have to set it and you can do that command to do that, no problem. Okay, because there must be a branch on the remote location also for you to do that. So it is requiring that to be created basically. So you have got that password somewhere. So you should always cat it to some files and then use it up. So you can open in a terminal. You can open a terminal. It's there, right? You have it in pad.txt somewhere. Yeah. So that's why I say you keep only one, so that you have no confusion. Particularly when you're learning, if you have too many things hanging around, you don't know what is the problem. Problem is because of a wrong key or some wrong command. Okay, so now you have got this pushed, so you can go back now. Okay, so now you can see, refresh this page. You can see that there are two branches, right? Okay, there are two branches. So you can now see that the readme.md is from the main branch. So change the branch beside that two branches, there is a button. So change the branch to Panda. Okay, and then you see that from that branch, there is another version of it. So now you can see that there are two versions that have been kept, right? Okay, now one of the things that we need to learn to do is at some point when you are working with a branch, you want to say that, okay, now I'm done with this branch, so therefore I want to merge it. Okay, so that is something that we can actually do it from the command prompt. Okay, and do that from the command prompt by typing git merge. Okay, and see what happens. What does it tell you? What help does it tell you? Okay, so you need to basically merge the Panda branch with the main branch. Okay, Okay, so you can tell git merge and tell the branch with which you would like to merge. Okay, git checkout and see where you are. Okay, so checkout and be on main. Git checkout main. Okay, and run the command again to check where you are. Don't create -b means it will create that branch. Don't create it, it's already there. Okay, -b is for creating it and all that. Okay, so you have now switched to the main branch. Of course, now you need to merge. And what you want to merge, you have to tell, no? You have to merge. Okay, so it's done. Okay, now you can see that you have merged, and this will reflect on the screen, and you can go to the browser and see what happens. Okay, refresh the screen. Now you see that go to the main branch. Now you see, refresh that. Okay, wait. No, you have done a push request. So there is a button there on the top right, compare and pull request. Yeah, click on that. So it does check whether the files can be merged or not and all that. So create that. Okay, bottom there is a create pull request. Okay, come, it'll verify, it'll check, and then go and say merge. Yeah, now go ahead and merge. Now confirm it. Okay, now you can see that go to the screen 13th July. If you click on it, now you see that it has come there, right, on the main branch. Okay, so what is happening is basically that you have merged the contents and on your local machine, and also on the remote machine, and the remote machine has certain workflow. That is, it is actually checking the differences between the two versions and whether there's any conflict in terms of when was the change done, in terms of timestamp versus what was the content. So if what you're going to merge is newer, then there's no problem. If both of them have changed, then there is a conflict, and that has to be resolved. We will look at it in the next class. But for now, what has happened is that whenever you compared, there was no problem of merging. So it allowed you to go ahead and merge it. And that is usually the scenario when very few people are working, because they have a way of working around in that. Now, what you can do is you can delete the other branch. Okay, so you can click on the branches. 2 branches is there. Okay, click on the 2 branches. Now you can actually delete that panda. Okay, because you have merged it, so you don't have to have it. Okay, and now you can go to your repo, and it says that there's only one branch, and there's a main branch. Okay, so this is what we do normally. That is, we have some activity, we create it on a branch because we don't want to disturb the original code, and then after we are convinced that it is working fine, we will merge it, and then after that we basically drop that branch because we no longer need it. Okay, so this is something that we'll continuously keep on doing. There will be branches that will be created and merged, created and merged, created and merged. That's a part of the coding cycle, and that's what we have basically learned. Okay,